recording 9:31. Okay.
Okay, I think we're recording.
Okay. Good evening, because it's our second time doing this today.
Yes, we thought we were recording earlier, and we went to check it out and discovered that
we
hadn't,
whole thing.
And we hadn't actually recorded anything. So this is now we've had our knit night. We've had our dinner, and now we're settling down, and we're going to give it a try again.
Mm-hmm.
So hello.
And welcome to
Three Sisters Knit.
I'm Sheila.
And I'm Margaret. This is our podcast number 2. And I know you have a lot of shout outs that you want to do for the various people we've been hearing
Pod
from.
love, as they call it.
Yes, pod love.
Pod love, as they call it. Okay, I'm just going to read from my little thing here.
Yeah.
A little bit of pod love going out to the Yarn Shop girls.
Yes.
Who mentioned us in their latest podcast.
It's so exciting to be mentioned by another podcaster.
Yes. That by Marissa and Anne.
Yes.
I think it was Marissa that spoke about it. I think Anne had been away, and so Marissa was discussing this and talking about our little podcast.
Yes.
Well, thank you. Hey, Marissa.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And then I'd like to give a shout out to David of This Boy podcast.
Yes, definitely.
He left us a very nice note on our YouTube page after watching our
first episode. That
was very kind of him.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, I know he's been ill. I watched his latest very short little podcast. He hasn't been well. And I really hope he is feeling better, and our thoughts are with him.
Yes.
And I hope he gets better and takes the time to get himself better. Very important to take care of yourself.
Yes.
So that's very nice. I'd also like to, I've been watching the Weeby podcast. Catherine, she also left us, I think, a little message, or she also joined us on Ravelry.
Yes, she did. She left a very kind message on as a comment to our first episode. So that was really, really nice of her. It's so nice to hear so much encouragement from the different podcasters out there. Mm-hmm. So that was how we heard about Weeby, and I know you've watched a few episodes of hers. She's out of Oregon. So hello.
Yes. Hey, Catherine.
And thank you so much for commenting.
Yes. There's a couple that I've been watching, and that from Scotland, besides This Boy, David of This Boy, I also watch Eva Christie hand knitting. And also I've heard from another one, Stitch with Sprite 966. They're two Scottish girls. Oh. That and our family, we've been over to Scotland several times. We still have family over there, and it really brings us home, and it makes us miss our family so much more. But listening to them makes us feel a little bit closer as well, because love hearing that accent. Just love it. Yes. Absolutely love it. So, and that's Helen is Sprite 966.
Oh, okay.
So Stitch with Sprite. She does a lot of crocheting as well, and I think she does spinning too as well. She does a lot of
very
stuff.
Crafty.
Yes, very crafty.
That's very cool.
Yes. So those are our shout outs. So, hello everyone in podcast land.
And I would like to give, I did say this on our Ravelry page already, but I would like to give a shout out to Christina again from the Cozy Knitter and Die Another Day podcast, because as I was trying to learn how to upload the video and the things that you need to do, I texted Christina a few times, and she was very kind and helped me out a bit. So I appreciate that as always, and just also her encouragement. She and Amanda, the Yarn Enabler, very supportive and amazing, as I'm sure you all know that they are. So.
And the entire community.
Yeah,
the knitting community. We're such kind people.
Yes.
Everybody's so kind. It's so wonderful.
Yes. Move on to first.
We can do. I've got our.
We do finished objects.
We can do our FOs, our finished objects.
Okay.
How about I'll do. I've got a few.
Okay.
One of the first ones, you know, I was working on all the baby stuff last year.
Yeah, it's the baby things.
I
so
still
cute.
have to sew in all the ends, but I also have to add the ribbon for tying this up. But here's the hat, the little baby hat. So
That's so cute.
it's not finished, but it's finished being knit. So now I have to do all the other stuff for it.
Yeah.
So this is it, the little hat. It's all done in moss stitch.
Yeah, it looks
with
so
a
cute.
nice lace, wavy lace border.
That's so pretty.
So now I'm gonna redo the booty. I only did one booty. I hadn't sewn it together, but this is a 4-ply, and the pattern does call for a 3-ply. I'm using the needle size it suggests, but this is supposed to be for a 6-month-old. But I found I did the 9-month, like the 6 to 9-month-old booty, and it looks massive. So I'm gonna actually take it out and redo it in the newborn size, because
really huge babies.
Yes, big babies.
People are having big babies, but
Yes.
maybe not quite that big.
Yes, I know. Like the booty looks almost for like a 3-year-old.
Oh.
So it looks pretty sad. So I'm gonna redo it, and it should hopefully look a little better. But the hat, this is the newborn size hat, but I still think it's a good size even for a 6 to 9-month-old. So
yes,
there we go. This is the very old school traditional traditional patterns that I'm using for it. So that is that one. I have a bunch of different items that I finished these in the past. This has not been in the last week. These have been done for a while because I haven't, other than the hat, I haven't finished anything. But I thought I'd show some of my other stuff. Okay, these are hand dyed. This is from our first dye night that we had with Amanda, with Yarn Enabler and Yarn Therapist and Cozy Knitter. They were there. This was my first dye item, what I made with my first dye yarn, and this is just the one skein.
It's so pretty. It's a lilac color, but it's got some really pretty.
I speckled it with darker
purples, and then with the ray, so it's a sun ray shawl.
That's
so
the pattern's called the sun ray shawl.
The eyelets ray out, and it's just so pretty.
Yeah.
So it really, with the dark spatters in there, it's just so lovely.
Yes, I've made several of these. I've made two.
You've made two.
I've made 2. You've made 1. So, and the picot bind off, so easy. It really is very easy.
Yeah.
So
it's such a pretty little shawl.
And that's the Sun Ray Shawl by Anne Veron.
Veron.
Yes. So that is that's that one. And then on our second dye night, this was one that I did the second time I did a dye night, and we did that at that store that was in town with Amanda. She was leading it, but Yarn Therapist was there as well.
Yeah,
this is yellow. It's so washed out with this, but it's such a deeper yellow.
It's
more like a buttercup yellow.
Yeah, like a buttercup, or if you're familiar with French's mustard, that's the color that it really is, the yellow.
Yeah,
but the nice thing is you can really
see
the
fleck
speckles
of the greens.
Yeah.
And I've put red and pinks in there too. So a little bit of blue as well.
Really pretty.
So that's really, really nice. So and this is the Reina shawl by Nura Levola.
Yeah.
That's her pattern. So that one's really, really nice.
So
I really I had these when once the yarn was ready. I had the items knit up in less than a week because I really wanted to get you just had to knit it because I have to knit something right now.
Yeah, Sheila's really good that way. She finds a yarn that she loves, and she seems to find a pattern and just gets right to knitting really quickly. I tend to hem and haw, and I struggle to find a pattern that I think, is this going to really show off the yarn? So I'm not as good at that yet, but I hope I get a little less reluctant to get started on things.
Yeah. So those are actually in our shop. Our shop is on holiday right now because, as many of you are, if you're Canadian, you're aware, Canada Post is going on strike. So we've just decided to put the shop on vacation because we can't mail anything out.
Yeah, it just gets, it's already expensive to mail using Canada Post,
Yes.
but using courier services would just be,
It is like
it's 3 times the price, so it's just
ridiculous.
crazy. So it's just easier. But the nice thing is it gives us an opportunity to work on more things and
Yes.
to put out into the shop so that when we do come back, whenever the strike is over, we're hoping that it won't last very long. I think it's actually starting tomorrow, officially. So
Yeah.
when it does come back, we're hoping it'll only be maybe a couple of weeks that they're off and not
Yeah.
working. But yeah, but as I said, we'll still be working away, ready to add some new items to our shop.
Yes.
And yeah, so
And
Sheila has something
my
else.
last finished item is, I made this for myself. This is the begonia swirl shawl.
Isn't it gorgeous? What is that made out of?
It's 100% cotton, lace weight
Oh.
cotton. And I bought this down in Savannah at, what's the name of that store?
Oh,
The yarn shop. We love it though.
Oh,
it's
it was
right
such a
in
nice shop,
Savannah.
and
It's right in Savannah. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, right in one of those lovely
Squares.
squares. It's just, it was, yeah. Can't remember the
And
name
it's
of it right now.
Araucania, and the colorway is called Sunset.
Isn't it just stunning?
So it's like very pinky, orange, and yellow.
Yes,
So-
very much a sunset.
Yes.
But it's so pretty.
So lightweight
because you've got that nice swirl here,
and then the flowery
bottom. And it's kind of like it's almost like it'll flutter a bit.
Yes, yes.
Which is so nice.
So I had that finished in March for when I was going down to Florida in April. So it came in quite handy to wear just around the pool, or just when you're walking to and from someplace, just to sort of cover you up, because I don't like walking to the pool with just my bathing suit on. So I would sort of like throw that, and I could actually almost, with a two-piece, I could just sort of tuck it in, so it would almost be like a skirt. Almost.
Skirt. That's really nice.
So that was really nice. And that pattern is by, I wrote it down here, by Carfield Ma. So that's who's the pattern, and it's on Ravelry, and I believe it's free. It's a free pattern as well.
I think actually all these patterns are on Ravelry. So
Yes.
we'll add the pattern names and the links to our show notes, and you'll find those on our Ravelry page. We did start a Ravelry group. We're not quite sure where we're going to go with it, but we're learning as we go. But we do add our show notes there, and we often will link out to the patterns, the designers, because usually they have more than one really lovely design. So we'll put all our show notes. So if you want to look for us on Ravelry, it's Three Sisters Knit Podcast. And episode 1 show notes are already there. We started a sort of a little introduce yourself discussion board. So if you want to say hello, we are checking that every day. So we'll say hello back to you.
Oh, I got fiber itchy nose.
Oh. So those are your finished.
Those are my finished objects.
And I wanted to show everyone. This is kind of backwards. I want to show everybody. Last week I had started working on this. This is the staircase shawl.
Yes, spiral staircase.
Spiral staircase shawl, right. And it is
by Liz Ann Petch.
Liz Ann Petch. And Sheila was wearing, last week she was wearing a finished one that she had made. And I had liked that for a while. So when I bought this yarn, although it's mostly cotton, I talked about it last week. It's mostly cotton. I think there is some acrylic in it, and there is some beautiful stellina in it. It just, I love the denim hues in it. It goes from like a dark denim to a medium to a sort of acid wash, if you're old enough to remember acid wash jeans
Of the 80s.
from the 80s. And the stellina is very, very cool because it's actually a kind of a blue-green, teal sort of color, turquoisey. So I just wanted to show you, because I thought it looked really cool with, backwards. It looked really cool with a white t-shirt. That's why I wore it, because I thought it would look really super with white. And I thought it would also look really cool with like a denim jacket or something like that. So, but yeah, I'm going to show you the beautiful, when it's all knit up, it's really, really pretty. So it goes from, you start at this little short end here, and then you start building the stairs of the staircase, the spiral, and it just goes up and up to get wider. And then it has this really pretty little bind off, a nice little edging. And yeah, you can really see the nice blues, and it looks a little more vibrant blue there. It's sort of more.
It's much darker,
It's
more
much darker,
denim-y,
more
and not
denim-y,
so bright.
Not so bright, but
you can also see the stellina, the little
sparkles in there. Oh, so nice.
It's hard to see the blue, that it's blue, but it is.
So that is my finished. I'm really thrilled about that. And then the other one is one that I had finished a while ago. Now, this is yarn that I got this year at the Knitters Frolic in Toronto, and it was by Handmaiden. I had the label, but I can't seem to find it. It's a one-of-a-kind dye that she did, and I think it's superwash and merino and silk, and it's called Smitten, and it's beautiful beachy colors, I think. Yes. So I created it was one ball of DK weight, and so I created this really pretty little cowl, and it's my own design. I just made it up. I just thought, oh, this would look really nice. I wanted it to be kind of almost lightweight, if you will, because I thought it would be very a nice kind of between, spring. Fall or spring times. I was thinking about it the other day, and I thought it's the kind of thing that you wear because it's very beach-like, and I thought, oh, you would wear this in the spring when you're looking forward to going to the beach, or in the fall when you might still be going to the beach, but you're not spending as much time there as you would be in the summer. So, but it is really, really pretty. So I call it staggered. It is my own design. I can't remember. I just have I call it staggered because it's staggered the little eyelets in there. And then this stitch, which I also can't remember, I got out of a stitch book that I would have. And the sort of the little bars that go across are kind of staggered as well. And then I thought the way the colors kind of work out as well, very staggered. And so I just called it staggered, and had nothing to do with drinking.
Yeah. And it's actually quite nice because in the spring, when it is getting warmer, you may not want a heavy one to wear, so it's a little more lightweight that you could wear, or when it's in the fall, you're not quite ready for the winter wear either.
Yeah, a lot of times I find when I was working and I used to have to get up and leave my house at say 7:15 or something in the morning in the fall. As the fall progressed, you'd want something for the morning because it was really chilly. And then by the time you left work, you didn't need this. But this is really cute because you can wear it in the morning with a jacket, as I said, a denim jacket or a white jacket or a tan jacket. It would look really nice. And then, just kind of throw it in your tote bag for when you're coming home. And it would just
or be even in the office in the summer, it's not that heavy. Because sometimes the air conditioning can be really cool in some offices, and depending on where your desk may be, or that sometimes it's blowing in right on you, and there's nothing you can do about it because that's just where it is. Yeah. And so it's nice having something that you can at least put around your neck. I know I don't like my neck being cold. Sheila doesn't like her neck being cold. And I remember when I was working in an office, I would find that I'd be comfortable at my desk, but then if I had to go to a meeting, the meeting room would, because it had been sitting empty, for example, it would be freezing. And so that's where these little shawls come in. They're just perfect for kind of wearing. I had bought these sort of pashmina like wraps. They weren't real cashmere or anything, but I always had that because I was freezing all the time, but because I hadn't been knitting. So, but now I think something like this would be really nice. So, and I really like this. I think it's really pretty. Yeah. So later on, once the postal strike and that is over, I'll be adding this one to the shop. Yeah. But I do like it. Yes. So, well, that's pretty much for our FOs.
That's my FO.
But what are we working on now?
Yes.
Our whips.
Whips. Yeah.
Whips. So, okay, I am working on.
Yours.
I'm going to start with. We're joining the Grocery Girls.
The
Jody and Tracy.
Summer Hohi Knit Along.
Yeah, Hohi Along, I think they're calling it.
Yes.
I am doing the Pure Joy shawl from Hohi Locatai. Or is it Locatelli?
Locatelli, I think.
Anyways, this is mine.
Yeah. It was
almost
hard to
finished.
I have to say it was hard to pick a pattern because
she's got beautiful
she's
patterns.
got gorgeous patterns. But I think we both loved this particular pattern, and then we also both loved the name of it. So
yes,
how could
Pure
you not?
Joy. So this is mine. I did the more solid with it being the variegated. We found that the variegated part would be too overwhelming. And so that's why I used it as the highlight color, like as the B color.
Yes.
And did the blue as the A color. So, and just like to anchor it with that. So, and with mine, I only had 400 yards in each one, whereas the pattern calls for your color A, which is in the main part of this. You're supposed to actually about 430 yards, and this one and your color B, you really only need about 380 yards, is what the pattern says. So I had to make adjustments in this last wedge for the color A,
the solid, yeah.
What I did, instead of knitting your 8 stitches in and doing your first wrap and turn, I knit 16 stitches in and then did a wrap and turn on that 16th stitch. And then I do about anywhere from 3 to 5 regular, like you knit your 7, you wrap and turn your 8th stitch. I would do that for about anywhere from 3 to 5, and then after that I would double that before and then I would do the wrap and turn. Just because I wanted to make sure
you had enough yarn.
I had enough yarn and that I had moved it along. I didn't want to end where I wasn't already at the end, like at this end, at the beginning end.
Yeah.
I didn't want to end here with yarn and go, I'm not finished yet. So I wanted to move it along slightly quicker. So, so I started this one actually a little earlier than you may have, but I managed to get all the yarn in, and I actually have just that much left of my other ball. So I wasn't sure how much, but that's perfect. I'll add that to my cozy memory blanket.
Yes.
But yeah, so I'm really liking how this turns out, but I don't know. I think I'm going to keep it for myself.
Yes.
If not, my
nice.
Sister-in-law really liked it, so she might be getting a gift.
And so you should show them the labels for that yarn.
Yes, this is I used Indigo Dragonfly, and it is, there we go, Indigo Dragonfly, Canadian Yarn Company. Oop, there we go. indigodragonfly.ca. And it is her Mergoat sock, which is 80 merino, 10 cashmere, and 10 nylon. And the blue is called TARDIS. And the other color is called, the variegated is called Planned Parrothood. So when you think of it, yes, you look at that, you're going, yep, those are the colors of parrots. So I really like how they go along. Like, it's different enough, even though the blues sort of blend in together periodically.
Yes,
throughout
that blue
some
is
of the striping.
In this variegate. Yeah.
You can see, this way. That's it, right there. You can see how it sort of blends, but there's enough of the yellow and green that you really do see a lot of that as well.
Yes.
So I thought, it's fine. I'm quite happy. It's such a great knit, and had I not decided to work 2 days on one thing, 2 days on another, 2 days on another, I would probably be finished this by now.
Yeah.
I'm just about done. I think I have maybe 10 or 12 rows left, and I'll be finished.
Yeah.
So I was like, yay! So that is that whip done. Working on it, just about done. And then I started... Exciting. I love this. I started a pair of, as we all know, Hermione's Everyday Sock by Erica Luder. And I am doing it. I've only got the cuff of one started. I will be doing this magic loop because it's the only way I get 2 socks done. I am not one to do, I don't want to suffer from second sock syndrome. So I will be doing this, and this is the ribbing. I'm going to do this color for the heel and the toe as well. This is, if I can find it, this is a...
Is this from...
Georgian Bay
Georgian
Fiber.
Bay.
This is it, Georgian Bay Fiber. Yeah. It's a Canadian company. And this is a one-of-a-kind color called Butternut Oak. And it's...
One-of-a-kind, yeah.
Yes. And that's, as you can see, it's Blue Face Leicester, 20% silk. So... yeah, not too bad. That'll really be nice. Lovely.
And it's this gorgeous, well, it's called Butternut. Yeah. It's looking more yellow. It's actually a lot more orangey gold kind of color.
Yes.
Very, very warm.
Yes.
And, oh, it's lovely. It's just lovely. And yes. I love how you can see the tonal variations in it. Even though it's showing up as much more yellow.
But you can still see the tones.
You can still see the tones. It's
and
really
this is
nice.
What the rest of the sock is going to be in.
Oh, and you can just see it's a blue.
Let me see. Oh, this side shows a bit more of the gold in it.
Yeah, so you can see
it actually goes very well. So that will look very, very nice together. This has very sort of like almost like a cherry, a pinky color.
Yes.
And then there's blues and so a bit of purple, and it actually goes to almost a charcoal in there. So this will be nice for the body of the sock. And then this for the toes and everything. And this is going to go to I think it's going to go to my son's girlfriend because she is like a Harry Potter
huge Harry
fanatic.
Potter. Yeah.
Not just a fan, a fanatic. So, but yeah, that's those are my whips other than the baby stuff I'm also working on. So,
yeah, we both decided we would do the Pure Joy shawl. We're participating in the Grocery Girls Ho-He Along. And so I also have from Indigo Dragonfly some yarn that I got at the Knitter's Frolic in 2015. And I fell in love with the colors. I didn't know. I had eventually found a pattern. There was a pattern I thought I was going to use, and then when this came along, I thought, oh, I'll do this one instead. So I did the opposite of Sheila in that I started off with using the variegated instead of the solid, and then my the little holes are in a solid. However, as you can see, you can't really tell.
Kind of hard to see.
Yeah, you can't tell that it's a solid. Yeah. I feel like it's getting lost in there, and so I'm not really happy with how that is turning out. I still love the colors, but it's just not
frog.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna frog it, and so my choice was when I came over to Sheila's, I was like, my choice is to either frog it and do mine the way she did hers. Or use this to make the shawl I was originally planning on doing and trying to figure out some other yarns to do the Pure Joy shawl. But so again, these are from Indigo Dragonfly. The variegated one, which I love, is from them, and it is, I love the name. Obviously, you're from District 1. I'm a Hunger Games fan, so I when I fell in love with this and then I saw the name, I thought, well, okay, I have to have it. Plus, it's MCN, so
and the solid is, I'm going to put it up here because it's sort of bent, is Tiny Blood-Sucking Dancer.
Which, and
it's
I'm also
sort of a cherry.
And I'm also an Elton John fan, so yeah, it was just perfect. And so I think I'm going to frog that one, and I think I'm going to reverse it out and do it the way Sheila had done hers, because I think that's the only way it's going to work. And my other choice, I'm going to talk a little bit later about some other potential choices. But my other whip that I have, I was working on this tonight at our knit night, is this is called the Workday Scarf. And that is from Sue Flanders. And I think that's definitely on Ravelry as well.
And it's a free pattern on Ravelry.
Yeah, so it's such a cute. I have this yarn and I didn't know what I'd do with it, but it's from Zen Yarn Garden, and it is
Serenity Single Silk.
Yeah, Serenity Silk Single. So it's 75% superwash merino and 15% cashmere and 10% silk. It's so pretty. So there's the
Up higher.
There we go. The colorway is truffle, as you can see. And so yeah, it's from Zen.
Nice little end. Love the edging on this.
Yeah, and so this one again is sort of similar to the spiral staircase in that you have these little decreases on the one, and a couple of holes. This one it's more roughly, I think. I think when you see it kind of like this, it is a little bit more roughly, I find, which I really like. And then because I knit really
tight.
No, I tend to knit really loose. So what I've done is I've gone down in a needle size, and because I really love the way it's a garter stitch, really simple, and I love the tightness of it. But it also allows me to, when I block it, I can stretch it out just a little bit.
You might be able to stretch out this end a little bit more so it does look more ruffly too.
Yeah. So I've just started on the decrease. There isn't quite enough yarn in this ball to make it as long as she said.
The actual pattern.
Yeah. So I'm starting the decrease a little bit early. So I've just started that. This is now going to be my deepest part, or just along here. So I think it shouldn't take long. It knits up really.
Scarf.
Yeah, it's going to be almost like this long. It's not going to be a particularly long one, but it is more decorative. Although because it is, and it's still kind of cozy as well at the same time.
Yes.
So I'm loving this pattern. As I said, I was working on it at knit night, and it's really easy to do in that situation where you're talking with a lot of people and there's conversations going on, and it's just a really good pattern for something like that. So if you're interested, I think if I understand correctly, this particular one, the designer also created a shawl version of it. I haven't looked for that, but for some reason I think that is the case. So those are my whips, one of which is going to be a frog, and then it'll be another whip. But I am enjoying what I have done on the Pure Joy shawl. I loved it. And for both of us, well, for me, it was the first time I've ever done wrap and turn. So it was really exciting. Sheila, because she was further ahead than me, showed me how to do it. And so I kind of got the hang of it. And it's working out really well because I'm not seeing any holes. Even though it's variegated, I can tell even on Sheila's as well, like you don't see any of the holes. So we've figured out how to do it well, at least. So it's turning out so nice, and it's a pretty easy knit because I knit that up very quickly.
Yes, and the pattern is actually very good. It has
really well written
to the point where it also gives you a website to go to show you how to do the wrap and turns and things like that. So that's really good.
That was one of the things that kind of made me think about joining this Cal, because I know I think it was Tracy had said that Hohi's patterns are always really well written, and when we got this one, you could tell it was really well written.
Yeah.
So, and it was actually really hard to decide which shawl to pick because she has some really beautiful ones. Yeah. So,
but this one, the three color
cashmere cowl. That's another one.
And shawl.
Yeah. So yeah, those are other ones that I'm anyway. Let's get through this one first, and then we'll see where we go, because it's really tempting.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to talk about, so we thought we would do a little section called stash busting.
Yes.
So
we all have stuff that we can get rid of, since we can't order online.
Yes.
And we try really hard not to go to the yarn
Yarn store
store.
too
We've got way too
often.
much stuff already. I know, and everybody's like, you never have enough. You know
yeah.
what? I get it. Believe me, I get
Yeah.
it. You never have enough. One of the reasons too we try not to have too much stash is when our mother passed away, we had garbage bags filled of yarn.
Yeah.
We must have had like 5 or 6 green
yes.
garbage bags filled with yarn.
Yes.
Like I took 2 to work with actually an entire set of knitting needles and crochet hooks. When I was working, I worked in long-term care. I was an RN, and I got them. I had added the supplies to their knitting group.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't need any more for years after that because there was so much
There's
stuff.
so much.
And then I know our aunt took a whole bunch to her church to use for making things through the church. And I took a couple things.
And Irene's mother-in-law took a garbage bag full.
Yes.
And I took some stuff.
Yes.
And so I think for both of us, that experience was like, okay, like there's a tipping point for us where we will not go past.
Yes.
And so we have reached the tipping point, both of us in our stashes. So we decided we need to do some stash busting.
Yes.
We can go sort of shopping in our own stash.
Yes.
Before we go out shopping.
Yeah. We try.
We try.
But
then again, you know, because we're on Etsy, we go and we see what everybody with these amazing artisan dyers, what they are offering, and it's very hard to say no. The postal strike is actually a really
kind of a good thing.
So what we are going to be working hard at stash busting. So,
mind you, I just saw Christine put out the Cozy Knitter just put out her Grello stuff, and
she posted those on Instagram.
I have to ask her a question. I want to ask her if she'll make me just a skein of this speckle.
Oh my god!
I love that.
I know.
That's all I want is just the skein of that speckle.
Oh, the speckle is just amazing.
Beautiful.
But her other colors that go with it are also
they're
beautiful.
Fabulous. They're absolutely wonderful.
So,
but I'm not one for stripes, but I love that speckle one.
Me too.
And she had the pink one when she did a princess or something. Oh my gosh! I thought I wanted that speckled. And
one of these days I'm gonna get. I haven't actually bought any, but one of these days.
But I think I might now.
Yeah. So,
but
stash busting. This is what I've been thinking. When I thought about this shawl that I'm making, the Pure Joy, and I'm not happy with how it's turning out, my option is to frog it and reverse the use of the colors, so making it more the way Sheila's making hers, which I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't really want to do it that way in the first place. Or I could frog it and do the original shawl pattern that I had in mind to do it, which was the pendulum shawl, and that one was from Amy Miller. Now that one is also on Ravelry. I purchased that one, and I got it because one of the other ladies in our knit night, she also she made this shawl, and I thought it was really pretty, and I think it sort of works the same way. So this is the pendulum shawl. I quite like it. I haven't attempted it yet, but so this is it. A little crooked. There we go. You can see what that looks like. It's really, really pretty. Nice. And I thought you'd really see the difference between the solid and the variegated in that particular pattern. So that is one choice.
Even though they're still sort of in the same colorway, they're just still
there's
different
more
enough
of them in each wedge.
Yes.
So you would really see the difference.
Yes,
so
you would.
That's one choice. And then if I were to do that, though, what would I do to use to make the Pure Joy? Because I really liked making it. So, stash busting time. This is what I thought. First up was this gorgeous color that I, again, in 2015, I can't remember if I got it in the Knitter's Frolic or the KW. I actually think it was the Knitter's Frolic, though, because just because I do think that's where I got it. So,
because that's the Quebec one.
So this dyer is, let's see,
River Yarns.
Here, I can't do both.
Riverside Studio, and they're in Wakefield, Quebec.
There we go. Oh dear. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I don't know how the weathermen do it.
I know.
There we go. So that's it. So she has an Etsy shop.
We got it.
And I absolutely fell in love with this color combination. It goes from a pale, like a silvery platinum gray here, and then this gorgeous sort of chestnutty brown here, and then this subtle tones into yellow golds, and again slightly darker right in through here, the gray, and then this amazing kind of copper penny look over here. Isn't that just, like, I just love it. And it's called Copper and Zinc.
Yes. And it's 80-20 superwash merino and nylon.
Yeah. And so I thought, oh, this would be really pretty if I matched it with this really lovely skein of Zen Yarn Garden. Now this is the same color, the same truffle colorway, but this one is the Serenity Silk Plus. So
What does it say? Plus graffiti.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I got both of these labels, but I know this is the truffle colorway.
Yes.
So it's, again, 75% superwash merino, 15% cashmere, 10% silk. And
so it's plied. The other one's a single.
Yeah, and this one is plied. And I just thought, oh, maybe this would work a little bit better. What do you think?
I think so.
So that's another option.
Because when we opened it up, it's so stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Like the oranges and that sort of chocolatey type brown.
Like here it's kind of showing green, but it's definitely brown.
A chocolatey brown, and then the light copper to the beige
platinum,
gray.
Yeah.
And then to a darker
gray platinum sort of color.
I think that it would look very nice.
So I don't know. So that's another option. So should that be my Pure Joy shawl? I don't know. You
would have to do the brown with this as the edging, though. You couldn't do it.
So that is my option. And then the other stash busting option I have that I brought over to Sheila was I have this particular yarn that I also got at the Knitter's Frolic in 2015. I fell in love with this green. I was going through a real green. I was buying a ton of green. And this one was really, really different. The weird thing is I don't wear green. I just have fallen madly in love with it over the last, I'm going to say, like 8 years or so. I think it started, my friend Susan and I went down to Buffalo for a weekend. And we went to the outlet mall, of course. And we went to the Kate Spade store, and I ended up getting this tote bag that was this amazing. Ever since then I've called it Kate Spade green, but it's like this bright apple green color. It's stunning, and from then on I've really gone into green. And I don't wear it near my face because it really doesn't suit me. But I really like the green. This one is a sort of a blue green. It's showing much more blue than it actually is. Kind of like a teal, and it's not. It's very dark, much darker than that. But this is from, there you go, Luna Gray, and this is her Athena sock. Yes. Superwash merino and nylon, fingering weight. And you can see it's lunagrayfiberarts.com. And she is out of, it says dyed by hand in Colorado, USA. And this colorway is called Viridian. There, that's a little bit closer to what it actually looks like. Yeah, it's still very blue. It's still very blue, very bright. Yeah. But I thought, it's almost Rubbermaid green. Yeah. Almost the Rubbermaid green. They had those green bins out. I showed Sheila and I said, oh, maybe I could do the shawl out of this because there's a lot in it. Yes. And I said, but I don't really have anything to go with it. You were going to do the fine and dandy sock. No. Out of the green. Originally, originally I thought, I could do this. And then Sheila said, oh, this would go really well with it. And it turns out that it does. They go really, really well together. And she said, oh, you could do this. And then when I was looking I put it down and I said, oh, but now that I remember, I wanted to learn how to make socks. I need to learn magic loop and how to make socks. And I would like to make fine and dandy socks with this. I don't know why, but I love the pattern in the fine and dandy. In the photo, it's got that really cool looking little pattern in it, and it just looks so amazing in a solid that I thought this would look so great. And so Sheila said, yeah, you could make the toes and the cuffs and everything out of this.
Yes.
This one here. So this is one. I'm going to describe it, and then you tell the story on how you ended up with it. So this is it's a merino single ply fingering, superwash merino. It's the colorway is Woodlands, and
It's Ivy Knits.
Ivy Knits,
which is YVIE Knits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Canadian. So Sheila's going to tell you how she ended up with this particular ball. It's a funny story.
My husband was in Ottawa on business, and he sent me this picture, and I was like, what the hell is he sending me? And it was like a whole stash of yarn. It was like 6 or 8 balls of yarn. And I was like, what the hell? He wasn't able to stay at the hotel he normally stays at. He usually stays at this one hotel when he goes to Ottawa on business, and he had to stay at a different one, so he had to walk a different route to get to the hotel. He didn't realize it, but he was walking past, and all the windows are like closing, everything must go. It was a yarn store. If I got to keep her or what? He came home with like 8 balls of yarn.
Yeah.
He walked in and he goes, I don't know anything about knitting. All I know is that she likes natural fibers. So the ladies helped him get all this stuff. So because I've got that one. And I have this one, which is also an Ivy Knit fingering light, which is the same colorway.
Same colorway, Woodlands.
Woodlands, but it's completely different.
Look at how different it looks.
Yes. That one actually has a date on it when it was dyed.
It says
mine
it was
does not.
dyed July 20th, 2013.
And also mine, this is merino light fingering, and it says it's a 6 ply. And there's also, like, this is also like a 150 gram ball, which is 685 meters.
Yeah, really.
So it's really, really big. I could do a lot.
Knee socks or something.
And I also ended up with some Drops Kids silk. Mm-hmm. So, which in a chocolate. So I got 2 in their lace weight, and it was it was in a deep chocolate. So that's I'm still trying to figure out something to do with that. And I got a couple of Estelle mohair ones as well. So, and I think there was something else, and I can't remember. I've already used it. So I have to keep it.
So that was the funny thing. So I am going to put out to the podcast land, anybody watching, if you have any ideas of what you think would be a better solution, like some ideas of how to use, do you think I should do the Pure Joy shawl in either of these, either the greens
tone,
or perhaps
the copper tone.
The coppery ones?
Yes.
Whatever. Do you think I should do it in that? Or do you think I should frog the one I have and redo it the way Sheila's doing it? Or do you think I should go in, use a completely different pattern on that one? I don't know. I'd love some feedback. I tend to be I always feel like it's going to be carved in stone. Once I get started, it's got to be and I'm
like, nah, rip it out.
Yeah.
Change it. You want to knit something that makes you feel good.
Yeah, and so I struggle because I want to have that feel good. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear anybody's opinion. I have this one that I am working on, but I'm going to be done with that probably by the end of the week. And just as a kind of as an aside, one of the great things about doing this podcast, we're going to be doing it every 2 weeks because I come out to see Sheila for knit night every 2 weeks, and it just works out really well that we can do the podcast at that time. And but I don't know where The cool thing is it gives me a deadline to work towards, because I'm the kind of person who needs an external deadline to meet if I'm going to accomplish things. If I just do it for myself, it's like, yeah, I can get it done whenever. But this having the podcast means things are going to get done.
It gives us a little bit more incentive to make sure that we get more projects done, so we can show them. And show you the ideas of what we're considering doing.
What we're considering. So I would love some feedback. If you saw some of the yarns that I just showed you, and you have an idea of what you'd like to see, or what you think I should do with them, or maybe you know of another shawl pattern or socks or something that you think would be really cool, I'd love to hear from you. But right now, I've sort of got an idea, but I'm kind of open. So I might start a discussion board about what should Margaret make.
Yes.
And and so if I can find, because I don't know that, for example, the Riverside Studio yarn is going to be showing up in Ravelry for me to have a link to it. But I'll try to make sure that I have it on my personal page. It may be there already. So you can go and take a look at it, and if you're curious about what it is. But yeah, I'd love to hear any ideas. If you think I should go in a certain direction with the Indigo Dragonfly, the Pure Joy shawl that I'm working on already, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
So
that just leads us to one last thing, acquisitions, which I have not acquired anything. Like we said, I'm trying to get through my stash.
Yes.
But Margaret did get something, a little goodie.
So
she's been dying for this.
Yes, I was really thrilled. I've been following, so we watch the Grocery Girls, and so of course I'm aware of Mrs. Brown's bags, and I saw this one, and I thought, oh, be still my heart, I just love this. I just love this one. So I was kind of stalking Mrs. Brown's bags Instagram page, and I had been watching, and I think it was when I was here within the last few weeks, I was on my phone, and I took a look, and I said, oh my god, she just put it in the shop. And I couldn't get on to the shop through my phone, and so Sheila got on there, and she said, oh, which ones, and I just went, that one right there. And so Sheila managed to order it through our shop, and it came to me really quickly, and so this is what I got.
It was less than a week.
It was less than a week. It was really quick. This absolutely gorgeous project bag, which has a lovely coordinating turquoise zipper with this really pretty little leather zipper pull, and it has the little doohickey at the side. And it came, and it has the lilac on the inside, and it came with, ta-da! Ooh, can't see it. Do it that way. There we go.
Hand-dyed wool.
So they had done, they had partnered to do this. I was just, I was so thrilled. I saw, as I said, I saw these colors, and I knew that Amanda was working with her, and I just, I love these colors. And look, can you see the little sparkles in there?
It's Delina, sparkle sock.
Amanda's a girl after my own heart with the sparkles. So, yes, as you can see, there's the lilac and the pink, and then it goes into another lilac, and then this gorgeous turquoisey color here. And then on this side you can see as well.
It's blue in the middle as well.
Yeah. So I adore this. I love this particular pattern just because it makes me think of sort of Spanish Moorish architecture. And the colors, as I've said, I love purple, I love pink, magenta, the blues, all these sort of watercolor shades. I just love them because, and I was saying to Sheila, it reminds me of Spanish architecture. It makes me think of looking out of a Spanish window at a sunset. Those lovely pinks that you get in the evening. I just love it. So right now I'm using. I don't know what I'm going to do with Amanda's yarn. I really don't, because it's so pretty. But I don't know. Maybe it will be soft one day. Once I get through my practice socks that I'm going to make with not as nice yarn.
Yeah.
But yeah. So right now my little workday shawl scarf is the one that I'm carrying around in this. And so that was my acquisition.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy with it.
So that's that. I know. And we didn't say our snack today.
Oh, our snack today is the same as the one we had
same as last week. President's Choice maple brown sugar caramels. Yum.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
And I'm just drinking water.
And I am drinking lemonade and tart cherry combined. Tart cherry juice. So both very good for you. They're organic. I buy the organic stuff to drink, so it's very tasty. So other than that, that's it. So
I think that's it for now.
Have a good week
or
2.
2 weeks.
And enjoy your summer.
Yes.
Take time to breathe and enjoy and take everything in. And as Ellen says, I love Ellen, be kind to one another.
Yes.
Not too difficult in this community. They're also kind.